takes us live. It's Timberwolves Night in America on the Vype Live Network. I'm the Two of the T, voice of the Timberwolves, Brad Cohn. This is our 11th show of the season, the 9th season of the show, the 118th show overall since starting all this way back in 2012. We are live from Santa Catarina Mexican Restaurant on Cypress Creek Road, a few hundred yards west of Old 183 as we have been all year, except for the first show. We'll be here until 9 o'clock, so come on down if you can. With me once again tonight, the king of Laces Out, the former whiteout, a member of our 2010 district title team and regional finalist. No less than 25 Mexican folk songs have been written about his beard. Lifetime Timberwolf Josh Willard.
So much, Brad, and you're right. My levels do need to come all the way up. So yeah, excited to get the playoffs going. It's crazy that the regular season's already over. That happened so freaking fast.
Oh, man.
Holy cow. We're here, baby.
Rosie Vega, our quality assurance agent tonight for the show. With us this evening, that renowned blues band, David Bowman and the Trainers. We'll be chatting them up starting at about the top of the hour. This year's Booster Club sponsors, Toyota of Cedar Park, H-E-B, Rudy's Barbecue, Mungia Real Estate, Army Ant Moving, our touchdown sponsor, TJ Lewis Real Estate, Alzer's Barbecue, Wofford Bank, and this here Santa Catarina Mexican Restaurant. Now here's what's on the menu for tonight's show. First off, as tradition, Josh with the state of the program. Then a short review of the Maynard game. Then a look at other scores of interest around the area. We'll talk playoff bracket stuff, then take a trip through the wonderful world of Willard. At the top of the hour, we'll bring on the Trainers. Then we'll play a fun trivia game in the last half hour. And in closing, preview a little bit of our next foe, Buda Johnson. So now here's Josh with our state of the program update.
The all-time record for Cedar Park football is now 207-76, and they are 109-34 in district games. They are 109-47 on the road all-time, 80-33 in the opponent's home stadium. That's pretty good.
That's good.
And they're about to commence their 14th consecutive playoff appearance.
You know, and that was a possibility of missing that if we had a wrong other outcomes last Friday night. But we got the outcomes we wanted to, and last missed the playoffs in 2007.
And that's awesome. That was my oldest brother's his senior year.
That's your freshman year, right?
That's right.
You were a ninth grader the last time we missed the playoffs.
Yes.
All right, quick trivia question out of the gate for Josh. Cedar Park's facing a tough opponent on round one against 9-1, Buda Johnson. When was the last time Cedar Park went one and done in the playoffs?
Oh, that was the 2008 season at home at Bible.
2009.
The 9 season.
Yes, 9.
God.
At the new Bible, yeah. 13 seasons ago. On a weird night in Houston, they fell 48-42 to Cypress Creek. That night they set a new school record for total offense in one half in that second half, and the record they broke had been set in the first half, and we lost. Over 600 yards of offense, and we lost.
Did we lose the next season at home? In the first round to Bible when we had to come back like 30 points in the second half?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, right, yeah. That was a weird night, too.
That was a weird one.
2 weird first-round games. Oh, boy. All right, let's get to it. The Maynard review, no. Like Hendrickson and like Weiss the week before, dwelling for very long on this game will cause mental, emotional damage, so we're not going to do that. But we do have to hit the basics. We'll be brief. In back-and-forth action through most of the game, Cedar Park was, just like the week before, driving for the go-ahead score in the fourth quarter when the wheels came off. After an interception, we never really moved the ball again, and 2 late, long touchdown runs allowed Maynard to stretch the final margin to 18 points in a 48-30 loss that sent us to the number 3 position in the final standings and the 3 seed in the postseason bracket. So just like the week before, we were right there, toe-to-toe with a very good team, and we just stopped. A few things of positive note, though. Despite throwing 3 picks, Josh Pell had career highs in passing yards, attempts, and completions. 2 receivers went for over 100 yards, Cody Marshall and Grant Nichols. That's something that was rare even under Ryder Hernandez. See, it's been so long already I forgot his name. Ryan Hernandez.
Ooh.
Houston Molinaro had one of the program's highest totals in kick return yardage ever, Although, unfortunately, that means there were a lot of kickoff returns. There just isn't much else to honk the old horn about. Manor finishes 8-2 and 6-1 as district runner-up. Cedar Park slides to 5-5 overall, finishing 4-3 in district play, and with no home playoff game, ends the season with a losing record at home for the first time in 16 years. In fact, 43% of our losses ever in 12 seasons in the GUP occurred this year. But through the magic of the playoffs, this team still has the weaponry if we can bring to the stadium the team that manhandled Cedar Ridge 29-7 to win a state championship. 6 wins and they're the state champs.
Oh, we're a matchup nightmare, I'm telling you. And whatever Cedar Park team comes off the bus, that'll kind of tell the tape. But, going into that Manor game, I felt like so confident because Cedar Park was capitalizing on offense lately. They've been putting together good drives and finishing with touchdowns, and so I thought coming into Manor, if they could kind of weather the storm and handle some of these big blows that Quentin Joyner was expected to throw, but not 4 of them, and top 20 runs all time on all 4 of those. So it was just so frustrating to see the collapse, like it's been like our neighbors down the road on 35 in Austin. It's very similar in how it's doing very well, implementing our game plan, and then just kind of taking our foot off the gas pedal, it seems like.
It's not the loss so much, the same with Texas, that is hard to live. It's the way the loss happened that's hard to live with.
Especially because they battled back in that game. I mean, they were down 18 points at one point, I believe.
Yep. Cut it to 4 and still lost by 18.
So
cut to 4 and we're driving in their territory to take a fourth quarter lead.
Right. So this team, I mean, Cedar Park, they've had a lot of good comebacks this season. They've had a lot of good goal line stands offensively. They've just got to put a complete game together, especially in the playoffs. I mean, it's win or go home from now on. So a lot to learn from through that regular season. But I felt like at the end of it, offensively, they were starting to click. They've gotten more weapons back on the field. We're going to get Nick Gruyon coming back in this game. So I think that'll be awesome to have Houston Molinaro kind of getting open while Weapon X and Nick Gruyon do their thing. So I think the offense should expect to go out and keep doing what they've been doing, and then defensively, man, it's just execute. Got to wrap up.
I think defensively, we're going to have to ask them to create some turnovers.
Yeah.
We're having trouble stopping passing games and running games. I'm not going to expect a stop there. What I want is we need heavy hits and turnovers and picks.
Right.
We need to get the ball away from those offenses.
Yeah, I mean, that defensive line, I mean, it's probably our strength on the Black Rain, but they haven't gotten home to the quarterback as much. So we've got to find opportunities and putting them in 3rd and longs.
Yeah, we're low on sacks this year by about half of what we normally get. We also measure that stat every year of how many offensive plays by the opponent gain 1 yard, 0 yards, or less than 0 yards.
Oh, I don't want to know that.
Usually about 50%. Right now it's like at 34%.
That's still not that bad.
It's 1 out of every 3, when it used to be 1 out of every 2.
And that's the thing. It's still the explosive play that kills us.
Oh, yeah, it really is. All right, I'm not even going to do the game stats. That would turn your brain straight to sludge. So here are the observations while updating the school record book, and so here we go again. Although some of this is good, even very good, a lot of it's going to be tough medicine. So steel yourselves. But again, we're all either adults or in training to be adults, and ignoring life's bad stuff and failing to act on it will only lead to a bad life. So buckle in. Here we go. Josh Pell's 393 yards of total offense against Manor, the 5th most by one Cedar Park player in one game ever. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
Pell's yardage from this game moves him up from 16th to 12th on the all-time list of total offense at Cedar Park. Now with 2,472, he passes Carson Neal, Amir Alzer, Ethan Fry, and Josh Cameron.
Hey, J-Cam.
Pell has moved from 22nd to 12th on that list in the last 3 weeks.
Wow.
Pell's 2 touchdown passes put him at 21 for his career, tying Steven Schaefer, none of you will know him, he was our first quarterback, for 5th on the all-time list. Schaefer threw his 21 over 3 seasons. Pell won.
Yikes.
That's, it was a running time back then in football. He just didn't throw a lot. Pell's 324 passing yards are his career best and the 18th best in Cedar Park history. That's 286 games, the 18th best. Pell's 28-yard completion to Joseph Edwards late in the game pushed him past the 2,000-yard passing mark for the season, making him only the fourth Cedar Park quarterback ever to accomplish this. He now has 2,028. Pell's 65-yard completion to Grant Nichols, that was a big play, early in the second half, boosted him past 2,000 career passing yards, one of only 6 Cedar Park quarterbacks ever to attain that mark. He now has 2,132, and he passes Corey Washington, Michael Cochran, and Brian Hogan on the all-time passing list. He's just 69 yards away from overtaking Stephen Schaefer for 4th on the list. In the last 4 weeks, Pell has moved up from 11th to 5th on this list.
A lot of big names on that one.
Yeah. I told you some of this is good, but it's going to turn sour. That same 65-yard completion to Nichols tied Pell's longest career completed pass, which was to Edwards against Cedar Ridge. And those two are at number 13 on the list of longest Cedar Park passes ever. It is also the 4th longest Cedar Park pass that wasn't a touchdown. Pell's per-game average of 202.8 passing yards this season has been bested in Cedar Park history by only 2 other quarterbacks. Max Sexton did that twice. Ryder Hernandez did it 3 times. These 3 men, Sexton, Hernandez, and Pell, are the only Cedar Park players ever to average better than 200 passing yards per game over the course of a season.
Dadgum.
Pell's 45 pass attempts versus Manor are the 5th most in one game in Cedar Park history. Pell's 24 completions were the 9th most ever by an individual in a Cedar Park game. Pell's 149 completions this year move him up from 9th to 5th on the all-time list for completions in one season at Cedar Park, passing Ryan Fiala's 17 total, Max Sexton also in 17, and Nate Grimm in 13. We had 2 quarterbacks in 17 with 149 completions. Pell's 171 career completions moves him from 8th to 5th on the all-time list, passing Brian Hogan, Corey Washington, Stephen Schaefer. The 8 receptions by Grant Nichols against Manor ties several performances for 6th most receptions in a single game. Last year, only 7 players caught a pass. That's hard to imagine. All the passing yards, all the throwing last year by Ryder, only 7 guys caught a pass. This year, 12 have.
Yeah, when I read that was crazy.
Yeah. In 2015, 6 players caught more than 1 touchdown pass. 2015. That is the only Cedar Park team to have more guys catch touchdown passes than this year's 5. They are Marshall, Edwards, Nichols, and Molinaro. Houston's 116 yards of kickoff returns against Manor are the 4th most in one game by any Cedar Park player ever. The most, 141 yards by Will McDowell, was set in Cedar Park's very first full-up varsity game ever against Bastrop in 1999 AD, and included a 101-yard touchdown return that is still the longest in school history. That was the opening kickoff of Cedar Park's existence, and we ran it back 101 yards for a touchdown.
God, that's awesome.
You knew something good was going to happen with this program.
Pretty electric.
David Bowman will remember that one. Will McDowell in Bastrop, 101-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Yep, he remembers that one. The 546 yards of total offense against Manor was the 15th most ever for Cedar Park and the 2nd most ever in a loss. The most was the game we were talking about in Houston against Cypress Creek in the playoffs. The 26 first downs against Manor was the team high for the season and the 3rd most ever in a loss. Total offense output was solid in both halves. Both made the record book. The 259 yards gained in the first half was 61st best in Cedar Park history, and that's out of 566 halves played, so we're looking at nearly top 10 percentile. The 287 yards gained in the second half is now 44th best in those 566 halves, so definitely top 10 percentile. The 332 team passing yards is 18th best in Cedar Park history and best this season. The team has logged 6 of the top 50 passing yardage performances ever at Cedar Park. Not bad.
Not bad.
The team passing yards figure 2,045 is now 9th best in CP history, but all 8 teams above them played at least 3 more games than they have at this point, and they average 4 games more. So they could be closing that gap if they keep playing. The 594 total yards allowed Manor, okay, here we go, is the 4th highest in Cedar Park history. The 448 rushing yards allowed Manor, the 3rd highest in Cedar Park history. The 369 rushing yards allowed Quentin Joyner, the second highest in Cedar Park history. The 5 touchdowns scored by Quentin Joyner are the second most for an opposing player in one game in Cedar Park history. The most was 6 by Ramonce Taylor of Belton and future national champions Texas in 2003. Their 62-yard touchdown, the 62-yard touchdown run by Quentin Joyner was the 18th longest run by an opponent in Cedar Park history. The 67-yard touchdown run by Joyner was the 15th longest in Cedar Park history. The 72-yard touchdown run by Joyner was the 13th longest in Cedar Park history. The 77-yard touchdown run by Joyner was the 9th longest run by an opponent in Cedar Park history. Somebody get me a napkin and wash out my mouth here. Quentin Joyner got 278 rushing yards on just his 4 touchdown runs alone. Just those 4 carries were enough yards to have made him the second leading opponent rusher in Cedar Park history. And get this. On his other 22 carries, he averaged 3.6 yards. Below average for a Cedar Park opponent.
God, that just kills you.
Make a tackle.
And I feel like 2 of those were on 3rd down.
This was a very rare occasion when Cedar Park scored 30 or more points and lost. In such games, the program's record is now 146-7.
Oh, gosh.
This was only the 7th time in 283 games that a Cedar Park opponent has scored 48 points or more. We have never won any of those games. The program is now 138-4 when scoring 28 points or more in regular season games. Cedar Park lost 3 district games this year. That equals the total of district losses from the middle of 2009 up through last year. I told you this was going to be tough. Pell threw 3 INTs against Manor. He'd only thrown 3 total in the previous 7 games. He'd actually been doing pretty good in that stat. This marks 2 consecutive losses during a season for the first time since losing the season opener and Game 2 in 2018, not all that long ago. We also dropped the first 2 games of 2012 and went on to win a state title. There have been no other instances of consecutive losses since losing 3 straight in the middle of the 2008 season. Cedar Park has never scored 50 points or more over a 2-game span and lost both games. God. We had 5 punt returns this year. 4 of them in 1 game.
No.
What's going on there? This team is 18th out of 23 Cedar Park teams in season total offense, with an average of 369 per game. No team since 2006 has gained fewer yards. Now, a lot of that, since that's a total, a lot of that is accumulated by teams that played 4, 5, and 6 playoff games. So their average is not bad at this point, but they've only played 10 games, so their total still leaves them at 17th of 23. That's just a good sign of how good this program has been through the years.
Right.
This team was out first downed in 7 of 10 games. Only against Cedar Ridge, Round Rock, and Manor did Cedar Park get more first downs than its opponent, still losing 2 of those 3 games. There have been 5 seasons in which no opponent ever got more first downs than Cedar Park. Only 3 Cedar Park teams through program history have allowed more points than this one, and 3 of those 4 totals will probably be overtaken next week. 17 points scored by Buda Johnson would do it. Only 1 team, 2002, allowed more average points per game, and that by less than 1 point per game. And the final one, and we're finally through this gauntlet. Only 4 Cedar Park teams gave up more total points in a regular season than this team, yet all of them made playoff runs. And we're finally done with that, and that hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. But, I mean, a lot of good offensive stats for Pell.
Yeah.
At the helm for only 1 season, and that's just remarkable, you know, the growth that he had from the beginning to the end, and happy to see him solidify his name in the record books with the season that he's had, and, you know, just not necessarily the same amount of weapons as years past and with some of those other quarterbacks with Mackey and Ryder. So, Pell's really done a good job, and defensively, man, that game, It was just those 4 big touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, and each one of them was, backbreakers and they're momentum swingers. And, I mean, I swear we got that opening kickoff where they fumbled it. And if we get that right out of the gate, and if they don't complete that 4th down right inside their territory right out of the gate, I think it's a completely different ballgame.
It is. I agree with you.
So, just wash all that out and focus on the playoffs. That's all that matters now. You still got to the playoffs. That's all that matters. I mean, Cedar Park can be a matchup nightmare.
They could be. We hope they are. Here's a look at District 11-581 scores from last week. Of course, there's ours. Weiss over Georgetown 63-42, and Georgetown had 14th four-quarter points. Anderson over Leander 68-61. No defense allowed on that one. Flag football game. Pflugerville 24, Hendrickson 21. Another team we beats Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Pushing the Hawks to a 4-6 finish. The first time a team with a losing record has beaten Cedar Park since 2016. That was Dripping Springs.
Oh.
And only the second time since 2002.
Wow.
That makes the final 11-5A standings look like this. Rouse, Maynard, Cedar Park, Georgetown, 1, 2, 3, 4 there in the playoffs. And below the line is Hendrickson, Anderson, Pflugerville, and Leander. Playoff possibilities. I like where we sit in the bracket. Buda Johnson looks formidable at 9-1, rolling up some scores on people, but their 3 non-district opponents were very weak. Crockett, Lockhart, and Bastrop, all 5A D2 programs, cumulatively 8-22. None of them playoff teams, and 2 of those were 2-8. And they're in a weak district as well. The only team in it that has traditionally been strong, besides Dripping Springs, is New Braunfels Canyon. We remember them from last year when they were tough, but the Cougars only went 4-6 this year. So the one good team Johnson played all year, and their only opponent who finished more than 1 win over 500 is Dripping Springs. And Johnson lost to the Tigers 52-7 and were out of the game by the end of a 21-0 first quarter. So the improperly named Johnson Jaguars, LBJ's had that name since 1974, may not be nearly as strong as their record and scores might indicate. And if we can pull off a win here, one of 2 more traditionally formidable opponents awaits. Friendswood or Angleton beat the snot out of Friendswood in Houston in Reliance Stadium a couple of seasons ago in the playoffs. But both of those look to be pushing through a lesser season as well at 6-4 and 7-3. Between them, only 4 wins over programs with a winning record. So possibilities still exist. Like I said earlier, if we can bring the team that manhandled Cedar Ridge 29-7 and not the one that collapsed at the ends of the Weiss and Maynard games and suffered improbable losses to Round Rock and Hendrickson after having those games under control, maybe something good can still happen. Coaches have got to figure out how to delete the program module Texas Longhorns mode from the team's operating system.
Absolutely, and looking at that bracket and where we are in the region, it is kind of setting up nicely to where you just take it week by week and go 1-0 is the goal, and so just control what you can control, and hopefully everything falls in place to where we can make a good deep playoff run. Hopefully get everybody healthy, and goodness, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Now here are the first round games involving our district's teams. Weiss hosts San Antonio Veterans Memorial. Remember them from last year in the first round we hosted them. They are 6-4 and 4-3. Maynard hosts Seguin. They're 6-4 and 5-2 and finished third. We are on the road at Buda Johnson. Well, not at Buda Johnson. We're at Hayes playing Buda Johnson. That is their home stadium. They're 9-1 and 6-1 and finished second. Georgetown at 5-5 and 4-3 and in fourth. Same exact record we have, but we beat them, so that's why we're third and they're fourth. They are at Dripping Springs, who's 10-0 and 7-0 in first place. And let's take a look at some other scores of interest from last week. Now, the note here is that 3 6A teams we played, we touched this a little earlier, in the non-district schedule, finished the regular season 25-5, and we're one of those 5. Vandy lost to Round Rock, to whom we lost just 21-17 in a game we should have won. Round Rock beat Vandergrift, and we were the Dragons' closest game other than their puzzling loss to the Cedar Ridge team we beat soundly. Football can be really, really weird, like Josh just said. Round Rock's win over Vandy gives them the district title. Vandy led that race all through the year. Vandy finishes second, Cedar Ridge third. Our non-district slate consisted of teams that finished 1-2-3 in one of the toughest 6A districts in Texas. Here scores: Bowie 49, Hayes 31, Round Rock 38, Vandergrift 20. That one shocks me. Westlake 63, Lake Travis 21. Drain the lake.
That's right.
Vista Ridge 31, Stony Point 24. Hutto 31, Cedar Ridge. That's kind of a surprise. Hutto didn't have a great season. I certainly would have picked Cedar Ridge to win that game. McNeil 35, Westwood 28, and here's one from out west. Big game in the Texas slate all these years. Midland Lee 34, Odessa Permian 21. Of course, Midland Lee is now Midland Legacy because every Robert E. Lee High School in Texas has changed its name to Legacy High School. 5A scores, Ripon Springs 32, Seguin 31. Boy, they almost lost their undefeated season.
Yeah, that was a very close game.
Liberty Hill squeaked by Reagan 59-0. Glen over Eastview 42-18, and Eastview had been playing well. Glen finishes third and in the playoff money. 4A score, LBJ 77, Taylor 8.
Number 1 in 4A right now.
LBJ finishes 10-0, right, and they deserve that. So now, former coaches and players scores. 6 teams. Tyler Lee is Tyler Legacy now. They fell to Mesquite 21-9. That's Joe Willis. They end up 5-5 and 3-3 and finish fourth, but they're in the playoffs. Lovejoy, Chris Ross's team, been cruising through the year, but they fell to Liberty 27-24. They are 9-1 and 7-1, a three-way tie for first in that district, but they own the tiebreaker, and they get the number 1 seed.
Wow.
Prosper fell to McKinney Boyd big, 35-7. Brandon Schmidt coaches them. They finished 6-4 and 3-3, but they finished fourth in the league, so they're in the postseason as well. Barbers Hill fell big to Texas City, 35-7. Carl Absack finished with the same record we had at Cedar Park, 5-5 and 4-3, but one notch lower than us in this district. He finished fourth. Rouse over Brenham 31-24 in the district championship game. Josh Mann's team finishes 9-1 and 7-0 and won their district title. Congratulations to Coach Mann and the Rouseketeers. And Mount Vernon, another squeaker, 56-6 over Howe. Like, how do we beat them?
Yeah.
Brad Willard's team 10-0, 7-0, and their district champs also. So worst week for our X's, though, going just 2-4. But these guys are cumulatively 44-17 overall this year, and 32-9 in district with 3 district crowns and all 6 of them in the playoffs.
Yeah, there were some great games this last week across the board. That Lake Travis Westlake game, did not think Westlake was going to come out and do that to Lake Travis. But
I hope they're going to win, Mike. I think they're crap on them.
That was insane. And then to see that Hutto made the playoffs, and so they get to go on the road to play Westlake in the opening round. And my oldest brother's a security officer for Hutto ISD, and he was telling me that it's David versus Goliath, but God is on Westlake's side as Goliath. There's no hope really going into that game for them. So. But then also for my brother, really excited for him going 10-0, undefeated district championship in his first season, and getting poised for a nice little playoff run, hopefully.
All right, now it's off to see the Willard, the wonderful Willard of Oz. Here we go on another fascinating voyage to the wonderful world of Willard.
Well, Brad, it was another great weekend of high school football, college football, NFL football. My wife worked all day Sunday, so my daughter and I got to watch a lot of NFL football, and it was a lot of good football this past weekend. Unfortunately, my Panthers, man, Sam Darnold playing against the Patriots. I mean, it's time. It's time to pull the plug on Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and it's time to get Christian. I said at the beginning of the season, Darnold's not what makes that team go. It's McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah.
And they were doing fine until they lost him, and they just...
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah, no. He's definitely not that guy. He's not that guy, pal. But then also our Texas Longhorns. What the... man. What's going on?
I don't know. I don't watch them anymore, as you know. But I was walking through the room when my wife was watching, and they were up 7-3. Oh, what do you know? I went on, did a bunch of other stuff, came back later, and they lost 30-7. Yeah, that's why I don't watch them anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting, and I don't know, Sark, I feel like is possibly losing the locker room and hearing all that fallout with that receiver that's entered into the transfer portal. So, I don't know. I just wanted to give him more of a chance and just settle down, but these collapses are unexcusable now.
Yeah, it's just like we're talking about with Cedar Park. It's not so much the losses. Yeah, the losses will hurt you. It's how they're happening that's utterly inexcusable.
Yeah.
You just go out there and you play well and they play better and they beat you. Okay, you can live with that. But losing the way they're losing, shouldn't have lost any of those games.
Yeah, so very unfortunate, but at the end of the day, the Texas high school football playoffs are here. It's the best time of year.
Yeah.
TexasFootball.com, Dave Campbell's put out all the brackets. So going to quickly kind of break it down to 6A, D1, and D2 brackets. 6A, D1, Region 1 is going to be a really nice one. Potential big matchups. Odessa Permian versus Euless Trinity can happen in the second round, which will be a really nice game. Allen's going to roll through their first round game, and they would potentially get the Euless Trinity and Permian winner in that region. And then South Lake Carroll is coming from the bottom of that region, and they're going to have to go through Arlington Martin, which I think they will. I think that quarterfinal matchup is going to be Allen versus South Lake, and I think South Lake's going to come out of that region. It's going to be interesting. Region 2 is going to be some potential big matchups right out of the gate. Duncanville playing Belton in the opening round, and Harker Heights won their district this year, and they get to draw DeSoto in the first round. Yeah. I'm actually going to say with all those big names in that region, Rockwall has had a really good season. I feel like they're going to come out of that region. Then also Region 3, Galena Park North Shore is going to handle that one pretty easily. I think Atascocita is going to give them their run for their money, but that they're in their district, finished 1-2, and I think North Shore will roll through that one. And then Region 4 is going to be really interesting. Round Rock and Smithson Valley. I think I wanted to pull that up. I had it right here.
It'll be a good game.
It's going to be a really good one. Let's see. Bad radio. Sorry about that. Let's see. That's our bracket. But Round Rock is going to play. I think it's. Which district are they matched up against?
I don't know.
I don't have it pulled up with me. But Round Rock could be playing Smithson Valley in the second round. My 2010 team had to go through that same gauntlet in that same region where we won the first round, then played Smithson Valley and San Marcos, and they're a very traditionally tough team, very physical. And then Lake Travis is in their region as well. I think Lake Travis comes out of that region. And so the Final Four for 6A D1, I have South Lake Carroll, Rockwall, North Shore, and Lake Travis, with the state championship game between South Lake Carroll and North Shore, and South Lake Carroll winning another state championship.
South Lake and North Shore.
That's right. And so we'll break some more down a little bit later as we go. I'm trying to, for time constraint purposes.
Yeah, we're going to run a little long tonight. Yeah. No big whoop.
But that's the beauty of Texas high school football. 10 state champions? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, too many, really.
I know.
They really
should play each other.
Yeah, one more game.
One more. All right.
All right, so we're going to take a short break. When we return, our guests, the trainers, stick around. You're listening to Timberwolf Night in America live from Santa Catarina right here on the Live Network.
The Alzer family. They've been involved in Cedar Park sports for years, just as Alzer's Barbecue has been involved in Cedar Park cuisine for years. It's one-of-a-kind, authentic Texas barbecue. Brisket, turkey, chicken, lamb, terrific sides and sauces. It's sheer succulence. That's Alzer's Barbecue, next to the Shell Station on 1431, just east of Lakeline. Open Friday through Sunday, every weekend.
A premier real estate brokerage in Central Texas, Mungia Real Estate's innovative buy-sell process results in their listings selling faster than the Austin average. Their attention to clients sets Mungia apart from other brokerages, with creative marketing strategies, savvy negotiation skills, and a commitment to hard work and excellent customer service. Whether it's residential, single-family, multifamily, condos, commercial, or vacant land, Mungia Real Estate knows the Austin market and connects buyers with sellers every day. And they do it with professionalism. Mungia Real Estate at 512-922-4267 or mungiarealestate.com. That's MUNGIA.
Experience the difference at Toyota of Cedar Park, one of the Austin area's newest automobile dealerships. Their new vehicle department will always stock the newest Toyota models you need. The pre-owned vehicles they choose must each pass a rigorous inspection and be in tip-top shape before they make it to their lot or website for you to see. And if you're looking for budget-friendly Toyota certified used vehicles, they've got you covered, and you can rest easy knowing that the best new cars make the best used cars. That's Toyota of Cedar Park at toyotaofcedarpark.com.
that mic over there a little bit there. There you go, David. We're trying to turn the speaker up here so the large crowd we got here at Santa Catarina can hear what we're saying a little better. That causes us to have to move the mic positioning because it feeds back. So the farther you can go that way with it, the better. All right, welcome back. Episode 11 of Timberwolf Night in America for 2021, live from Santa Catarina on Cypress Creek Road here in Cedar Park. I'm Brad Cohn, joined by Josh Willard, Rosie Bega, our QA tonight here on the Vype Live Network. Another trivia question for you, Josh. We mentioned that our total offense figure for the Maynard game, 546 yards, was the 18th most ever in one game at Cedar Park and the second most ever in a loss. How many times has Cedar Park gained over 600 yards in a single game?
Okay, I'm trying to be easy with the microphone right now. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, okay. So how many times we gained over 600 yards in a single game? 286 games all time in Cedar Park history?
Yeah.
We've done that 7 times.
6 times. You're darn close.
That's not that bad.
617 versus Travis in the 2013 playoffs. 620 versus Pflugerville last year. 625 Leander last year. 628 Cy Creek in 2008 playoffs. 656 versus Vista Ridge in 14. And the record, 677 versus LBJ in the 2011 playoffs at Nelson Field. So with our total from the Anderson game this season, the program has gained 1,044 yards in its 2 games at Nelson Field.
In that total that you have in the 2011 playoff game of the 677, I bet you 450 of that it's rushing.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Hogan's senior year, but we didn't throw much in there. All right, a short programming announcement before we get going with the trainers. We'll do this show every week. There's a football game plus the Tuesday following our final game, whenever that may be. So at this point, 10 games into the season, counting tonight, we will have at least 2 more shows. And at most 7 more, we make it all the way to the state championship game again. Not wanting to be any sort of distraction to the team, we've stopped inviting players and coaches on as guests. Now that the playoffs have started, we will feature other guests, such as the trainers this week, and the defending state champion women's basketball team next week. They started their season Friday night, by the way, with a 72-50 road win over 6A San Antonio Wagner. If the football team wins Friday night, we'll have at least 1 more show after that, and the guests that night will be the cheer captains. And if the team keeps winning, we'll have, more after that. Volleyball team season ended last week in a playoff loss to Dripping Springs, 3-2. So we'll also have some volleyballers on if we keep winning football games. And now our special guest tonight, the trainers and their mentor, David Bowman, and also Stephanie Austin, who's his assistant in the training department. David, I've said this to anybody who will listen to me say it. You and me and the golf coach, Kerry Williams, are the only people still doing today what we were doing the day the school opened in 1998. Does that make you feel young?
No, it just means I'm old. That's all that means.
I guess it means I'm old.
Yeah. I talked to Williams today about that.
Oh, yeah?
To make him feel just as old as me.
Is he losing any hair? Is it turning silver?
Oh, I'm sure it is. He has enough kids.
All right, yeah. You're losing some. Mine's turning silver. I mean, we're just,
Thanks for bringing that up.
We're not the athletes we used to be.
Yes.
So, David, you got this thing going with the trainers. Well, let me ask you this. So, you've been here since 1998. Are you ever looking to go somewhere else? You looking for a better job? You're thinking you're just going to do your career here?
Oh, no. I probably will retire here. Yeah. There's no reason to go anywhere.
No reason to go anywhere. It's a good place, good gig.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we're just as successful as the other schools and other programs.
And tell folks who don't know how you got into doing this for a living.
Oh, I did this back when I was in middle school. And so I've been doing it since then. So
Where did you go, Burnett or Dobie?
Burnett Junior High.
I went to Burnett, too.
Yep. Now we won the district championship there. So,
we did when I was there, too.
Yep.
Only one team scored on us.
Yep. It was, yeah. But, yeah, I've been doing it for a while, so I've enjoyed it.
Now, to do this, you got to get a college degree. Where did you go to school, and what was the degree?
Texas A&I University.
Ah.
And I have a degree in kinesiology.
Move this way a little bit and get away from that speaker, yeah.
She's still in this show.
I know.
I'm doing this by myself.
Yeah, we're going to change seats when it's time to talk to Stephanie.
That's a good idea.
Come get close to me, Bowman.
That ain't gonna happen.
I miss those days.
We don't.
So, David, you coaches have got to coach a team that they're coaching, they also got to like teach Texas history or health or something. Do you got to do any teaching of classes or?
No, we strictly.
How'd you get into that?
How'd
you get out of that? I should say.
There's a good story in there.
Okay.
But I don't know if we can say that kind of story.
We don't have enough time.
Oh, okay.
It was back when Mark Weaver was here, and Ron DeFevers was the principal.
Yeah.
And so it was Coach Weaver and myself went to his office, and he said, one of you's teaching health. Who's it going to be? And Coach Weaver looked right over me and said, you're teaching health. But I only lasted a semester teaching health before. I'm not that good of a teacher, so.
Well, and there's ways you can make sure people know that while you're doing it too, right?
Pretty
so you can
much,
get out of that.
yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
I learned the whole way. If you do it bad enough, they don't want you to do it again.
And that's the way you do it.
I did that real well.
That's how you get out of washing the dishes at home and doing the laundry too.
I don't get out of that. No, I never get out of that.
Do it bad enough, and somebody will take it over for you.
Never works.
Didn't work at home, huh?
Nope.
All right. You got this large charge of trainers, and they're all female. How does that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how that happens. They just sign up, and here we are. So.
Do you ever have more than you can use? Do you ever end up with less than you need?
No, we've actually had a pretty good staff, number-wise, and they've always been. We've never really had a huge staff. My wife's school has a lot of kids come out, but we usually stay around, the 10 and 12.
Yeah.
We kind of like the small numbers.
Any particular memory of an event as the trainer at Cedar Park all these years, 23 years, stick out in your mind as something that you'll kind of always remember?
I mean, the state games have always stuck in my mind. They're always the fun games to go to. Going to Jerry's World the first time.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of the actual game. We had an injury in the middle of it, so it kind of kept us busy the whole game. I don't really remember the scores for most of those games.
Yeah.
That's
just whether we won or lost. Right?
Yeah. There was a trophy involved. In fact, I brought the trophies home. They were in the truck with me. So
yeah,
that's about all I remember. There's not anything that really sticks out too much.
Well, let's see if we can get you to change positions with Stephanie Austin here.
Sure, no problem.
And girls, as you're seeing this, we're going to try to get you to sit over here, not where I told you earlier, because we're trying to get the speaker a little louder, and over there it's just feedback.
While we get some musical chairs, it's crazy that your boys are now, are they graduated now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Here's my daughter.
Oh, I know the little one.
She's continuing.
It's crazy, man. I mean, and I just remember playing, I graduated.
You don't look like him. Is that a good thing?
I just remember, I graduated in 2011, and my junior year, I snapped my arm. Just a nasty, it looked like an S, and was out for the entire year, and I pretty much lived in the training room with you guys because I was annoying the coaches. And I don't know, your boys were always in there hanging out, and I just, kind of grew a bond with them and just always followed them, so I don't know, so proud of them.
Yep, they're doing well. They're having fun.
Yep.
All right, Stephanie, how did you get this gig?
Well, I was that annoying athlete that was always in the training room. And so then my head trainer at my high school needed more student trainers. So he's like, hey, you're always in here. You basically know what to do, so come on. And so I became a student trainer in high school and then did it as well at college and decided that's what I wanted to do for a career.
Well, what high school and college were those?
I grew up in Odessa, went to Odessa High, and then I went on to Texas Tech.
Broncos, Raiders?
Yes.
So when did you come to Cedar Park?
This is my 7th year. So my first year was Coach
Been that
Aspen's
long already?
first head coaching year.
Seems still like you're new here.
Yeah.
Because people have been here as long as Bowman and I. 7 years is new.
Some days it doesn't seem that long, and some days I'm like, oh my gosh, 7 years is a long time.
What is it that lights your fire about the job? And then I'm going to ask you, what do you dislike the most about the job? But first, let's go with what is it that you like most about doing this?
I'm anxious to hear this one.
Well, what I love about the job is getting to sit next to Coach Bowman every single day.
Oh.
No, what I love about the job is it's different every day, and getting to see, I know a lot of people don't love this, but getting to see the different injuries and different things happening.
Oh, yeah.
And then before I got into athletic training, one thing I wanted to do was work with high school kids, become a teacher and a coach. So this avenue was just my way of doing that. So getting to work with the kids is something I really enjoy the most.
What do you teach? I guess you teach a class. You don't either, huh?
I don't.
Good job, David.
I established that.
Good job.
That again.
All right.
So we're lucky with that. We have athletics happening every class period, so we get to stay in our training room in the back of the school all day. So.
I imagine one of the things that's got to be fulfilling of the job is just knowing that you're helping people. Somebody's hurt, and you're able to apply some solutions to that to get them on the road to being better.
It's awesome, and it feels good to be needed. So.
And so, I mean, with these football practices in the morning, who's the last trainer ready to go? Oh. Oh.
Well, I don't work football.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
So I am the last one there.
Good reason, though.
I come in about 6:45, and I'll help with all the other sorts that are coming in for practices. Well, they're already all on the football field.
So that should have been a question for Bowman.
All right. Thanks, Stephanie. Now we're going to start taking trainers one at a time. Y'all decide who wants to go first, and we're going to go sit in the seat that Stephanie's in right now. Seniors are going first? Okay. And once you get in the chair and get the mic up to you and kind of lean towards Josh, the more you're this way, the less feedback we'll have on that speaker. And first...
I can share chips and salsa.
Okay. First, tell us your name and what class you're in.
I'm Morgan.
Morgan what?
Morgan Garrett.
Okay.
I'm a senior.
Senior, all right. So have you been doing this the whole 4 years, or did you get in lately?
Yes, I've been here all 4 years.
We're still having feedback issues there. Josh will try to doctor it up a little bit. So what made you decide, hey, look at that thing, I'm going to go do that, Mom?
Well, so I didn't make the dance team going into my freshman year, and I had some suggestions.
And Mom says, you're going to do something.
Yeah, pretty much. And so then I had some suggestors that said, maybe you'd like this, and well, here I am.
And you do like it.
And I fell in love with it.
What is it you like the most about doing this?
I have always wanted to do something in the medical field. So this was kind of what brought me, and I'm going to go do something similar but different after this.
What plans have you got for after high school now that you're a senior?
I'm hoping to go and do kinesiology and then do occupational therapy.
All right. You have any place you're thinking about going to study that?
I don't know yet.
Okay. So what is your worst memory of doing this? What was the worst thing to happen? Oh, yeah. David says we still have a week of football.
I don't know. There's not really one that sticks out too bad.
What's the worst injury you've seen?
I don't know.
Haven't seen too many bad injuries then?
God, John Hatzel. Remember that one?
My freshman year, there was a kid that almost bit through his lip during spring ball.
Oh, man.
That might have been the worst one.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right, well, thanks a lot, Garrett. And let's pass it to the next one. Well, actually, have you all switch spots, I guess. Okay, name and class.
Hi, I'm Seda Alman, and I am a senior.
What was the first name?
Seda.
Seda, okay.
Yes, sir.
And you're a senior?
Yes.
All right. So have you been doing this the same, the whole time, or?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Wow. So how did you get into it?
Yeah, I didn't make the cheer team, so I'm
here.
kind of here.
Similar story.
It's a group of misfits.
We are the Island of Misfit Toys. I remember that show.
God, that's...
What I'm going to ask you, you're a senior, so you can risk an answer to this one. Is it? It's got to be kind of fulfilling to spend so much time around a mentor who is so easy to work for as David Bowman.
Yes.
She said yes. There's still a whole semester, I guess, to go.
Yeah, there's some days where I'm like, all right, I'm just going to keep my words and I'm just going to walk away.
That's a good life lesson.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So, David mentors you guys. How do you draw certain duties? Are some duties better than others and preferred more than others? And how does he decide which one gets these preferred duties rather than the sloppy jobs?
Yeah, it really is. You kind of just have to, I don't even know. You're kind of like, you either get what you get and you kind of just have to deal with it and just kind of.
Does it change from week to week or sport to sport? Or do you do a little bit of everything as the season goes through?
We get our assignments like the first week of football, and that's what we're assigned to do. Like, we each have like certain equipment trunks that we all get and certain things that we assess on the field as well.
Okay. What are you planning on doing when you're done with all this, getting out of high school?
I'm going to study education.
You're going to be a teacher, huh?
Yes, sir.
Nice. What would you like to teach?
High school, preferably. High school history.
High school history?
Nice.
That's what I thought of doing that same thing. Teaching high school history. I didn't do it, but gave it some serious thought. Got anywhere in particular you think about going to school?
I just got into the University of Arkansas and Texas Tech University, so I am.
Yeah, you can take your choice, right?
Yes.
Just going to throw a dart? You're going to flip a coin?
I just recently visited the University of Arkansas. It was really pretty, and so I'm kind of just debating on where I want to go.
If you're going on pretty, I don't know about Buttock, Texas. They say the hottest ticket in Lubbock is any plane leaving town. So, all right, thanks a lot, Seda. Let's bring some more over.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Talking to our two seniors here about training and their time in there, and we'll be talking to. Let's see, how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I
Here
think
you are.
like all right, name and class.
I'm Avery Mellon. I'm a junior.
Avery Mellon?
Yeah.
Avery Mellon. Okay.
Yeah.
No, well, don't laugh. I wasn't laughing. I just make sure I got the name right.
I don't know. New parent.
Yeah, as long as your middle name isn't Water. It's,
Yeah.
New parent. I just started thinking Coco Melon.
Coco Melon.
The
Avery Coco Melon.
Oh my god.
Avery Coco Melon.
Okay.
So, Avery, what class are you?
I'm a junior.
Junior?
Yeah.
Are you going to do it again next year?
Yes.
I'm interested to see how many underclassmen you got. Raise your hand if you're an underclassman. And are you all still planning on coming back next year? Everybody is. That's pretty good, David. Pretty good. You got them hooked. So what did you like about this job?
Actually, a lot of people are going to be like, why? But I actually like waking up at 4 in the morning and being at practice and seeing like everybody.
Heck yeah.
Just being a part of the action, right?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Having a role to play in this football program, yeah. I get that. What's your favorite course of study in school?
I like English, actually. I want to be an English teacher.
You got anywhere in mind you want to go to school? Study that?
Texas State.
Texas State? He's a Texas State guy.
Go Cats, go.
Texas State is kind of interesting because it's just far enough to be away from mom and dad.
Yeah.
It's close enough to come back if you need to.
Yeah, that means that's close enough for her to come visit, surprisingly.
That's right. Right. You stack up your laundry all week, come home Saturday morning. Mom, could you...
Literally, yeah.
Texas State, all right. What caused you to get into this?
Well, same thing as Morgan. I did not make it into the dance team. And so,
there you go.
Actually, no.
Yeah, well,
a couple celebrities go down. Y'all are there.
I was just asking around, and everyone was like, "You still want to be in athletics?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Well, the sports med program is really fun."
It's awesome.
Yeah. So.
And David will tell you this if he hasn't already. There'll be a higher percentage of sports med high school students who go on to get scholarship money in college to study that and get a career for it than football players or basketball players or baseball players or soccer players or volleyball players. So it's not a bad choice.
Yeah, I should have rode Scott Wood's coattails now.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
And then we actually had Cody Wilson up in the press box last game with us. Yes,
he
works
at Manor?
He works over by Manor, so I told him to come sit up there with us. It was fun.
So Avery, amongst all of your co-workers and teammates here, who is the best singer?
Ooh.
You're pointing to Bowman.
David Bowman.
Oh, wow.
Amazing singer.
Oh, boy. You can't tell by the way I use that one. Okay, well, we'll go with that one.
Definitely.
Bowman's the best singer.
He was singing Frozen in the training room one time.
Oh, that's that girl.
Let it go, let it go. Oh, that's great. All right, Avery, what's your favorite moment of being a trainer here?
I really like hanging out with all my friends and taking care of injuries and stuff like that. Well, I mean, that's not really a good thing, but
It is.
It's fun.
Yeah, there's a fulfillment to that. Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, thanks, Avery. Now, if you'll hand the mic over, and we'll get name and class and go on as we tour through the trainers. I'm still interested, David. How this is true almost every year. There's almost all females. Every once in a while, there's a male.
Yep.
What's your name and class?
Camber Hill, and I'm a junior.
Camber Hill, and you're a junior. Why do you think it's girls mostly that do this, and you don't see too many boys do it?
I don't think boys can handle it.
Ooh!
Mic drop.
That's a legitimate reason. That's a legitimate reason.
I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way, but like, I mean, I don't. But it's a lot of.
Well, we know what you mean. I mean, guys at that age, especially, are a little more squeamish over things than girls are.
And it's just a lot of hard work and a lot of commitment, and a lot of guys our age aren't willing to commit to something for that long.
Well, I'll put it differently. They're not willing to commit to something that they don't get FaceTime for. You catch a bunch of touchdown passes, and you're a big hero. But you help a lot of people off the field and put them in splints and do what you got to do. Nobody knows your name still except your friends. That's what they don't like, and that's why they won't work for it.
I agree with that. Yeah.
They don't think they're getting the reward that. Don't you think?
Yeah, but it's a sham. It's a sham.
All right, so you're a junior, so a little ways to go before you get out. You got any idea what you're going to do when you're done?
I want to get my degree in kinesiology and then become an athletic trainer.
Nice.
There you go. David, how many of your how many of your trainers over the years, as a percentage, do you think, have gone on and actually made a career out of this?
Oh, gosh.
We've had about 8.
He says about 8, okay?
3 to TCU.
3 to TCU, 1 to A&M.
1 to Kansas.
1 to Kansas.
1 to North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Rah.
I mean, we've had a few, and then, like you said, Scott Woods, currently the head athletic trainer at University of Texas at El Paso.
Oh, Scott Woods, head athletic trainer at UTEP.
A baby girl, too?
That's great.
Does he have? Oh, she's cute.
Well, you might be the next one, right?
I hope so.
Good. What's your favorite moment of doing this so far?
I guess just helping the players. It's rewarding in its own way, because as you said, we don't get our face spread and anything like that, but seeing that the players appreciate us and are thankful that we're there is very rewarding in its own way.
Good.
100%.
All right. Thanks a lot. We're going to rotate a couple more over there now as we keep touring through the trainers. Yeah, just right in that circle there would work.
I cannot emphasize that enough, though. I mean, the trainers on our teams, they were just as much a part of the team and, the whole season and the banter in between classes. I mean,
come to depend on them for
Lacey
important
Jones,
service.
Still friends Priscilla Smith, still friends with all of them. I mean, yeah.
All right. Name and class.
Bethany Zitrer, and I'm a junior.
Bethany, and I see you a lot because you've got another job in addition to helping guys who get injured, and tell people what that is.
Me and Kabrina work in the press box.
Nice.
Doing what, though?
We set up all the headsets for the coaches.
Yeah, all that equipment, radio equipment, the headsets for the coaches to talk to coaches that are on the sidelines. We see her and Kabrina up there all the time. They're right in the booth next to our broadcast booth, as a matter of fact. So how did you get that job as an addition to what you're doing?
It was assigned to Kabrina, and I just tagged along.
Somebody just said, you're going to do this.
Yeah, basically.
So is that kind of is there any fun to that, or is that just something to do?
No, I love doing it. I think it's really fun.
Cool. And you're a junior, right, Jessica?
Yes, I am.
You plan on coming back, I guess, right?
I do, yeah.
I don't know if we've ever asked anybody that question? They said no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they didn't actually, but
They probably will say it.
yeah, that's where I was headed. They didn't say no, but maybe some didn't come back. So, what is it that you find most memorable when you're, 63 and have some grandkids around the fireplace? So, what did you do? You were a trainer. What did you do? What big memory are you going to tell them about that really sticks with you?
The most memorable thing that I'll remember is definitely waking up at 4 a.m. and getting to school at 4 a.m.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you all have different duties in different seasons, I guess. Football is something. What basketball's coming up? 2 basketball teams. What do you think?
My second sport is soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Now, aren't they? They're starting now. And will end somewhere in the late winter, right? Is that how that goes?
They start in December.
Start December. Yeah. Okay. Men's and women's soccer or both?
Boys.
Boys.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Where do you think you're going to be finding yourself in school when you're done with high school?
I'm not sure yet. I want to do something in the medical field for sure, though.
Great. That's
Nice.
great. That's great. I've got 2 daughters who are both doing something in the medical field, so that's, yeah.
That's really fun.
All right, thanks. I pass the mic to Gabrina now. Good job.
The youngest Bowman.
Gabrina Bowman. Youngest Bowman, you got 2 brothers. I know your aunt. I don't know if Dave would tell you that. She and I were in some science classes together in high school. She's 1 year younger than me. Yeah.
Well, that's some fun information to learn.
There you go. I mean, it means nothing, I guess, but I do see the family resemblance. I think you look more like her than you do your dad.
Thank you.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So what class are you? You're sophomore, right?
I'm a junior this year.
Junior. You're going to still be doing the camera work next year, probably the 2 of you, now that you're experienced, I guess?
Unfortunately. I'm joking. I'm joking. I love
Hear
it.
that, Dad? Hear that, Dad?
I do love it.
She doesn't have a choice. She has to keep the tradition going.
Yeah,
Right.
keep the tradition going. That's right, because your brothers did that work too, didn't they?
Uh-huh.
Is that tough to do? It's plugging certain things into certain places, powering up and testing it out. Was it tough to learn it?
It wasn't tough to learn. It's tough to adjust to each stadium itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
We have that same issue with our equipment.
Yes.
So you got to test it out, make sure it's working, and make adjustments if things aren't working. How often do you set it up and everything's perfect and you can go?
Rarely.
We get a little luckier than that.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 out of 3 times everything's fine. But so, what is your best moment as a trainer here?
I have no clue. I would love to say the state game. Just going up to that press box and just getting to see the field from there was just one of those moments that you're like, this is one of those moments that I am gonna remember.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
true. I think that's my favorite, and one of our favorite things about broadcasting is seeing all the stadiums, going in the press boxes. I don't care. That's so fun.
That's one of my favorite parts of it. Just
you could go in all the press boxes with that job too, right? What do you do during the game? You're down on the field, I suppose, and reacting to something. What's your assignments during the game?
My assignment is, usually I just run out to refs because you need to make sure they get water and see if they favor you a little bit more because of it. But and then if in the instance of an emergency, I would be the one getting the EMS. So
okay.
That's my job. I know Bethany's is AED, right? Yeah.
Which is what?
The cardiac defibrillator.
Oh, nice. That's a big
right
job. That's a big job. I've needed that a couple of times during games myself on the press box.
So, y'all spend a lot of time together as this collective group. Who is the funniest?
Oh, the funniest. Oh, this is.
She doesn't want it to be her.
I'm like looking at them. We have our moments. We have our moments. Some of us are funnier than others. Like Hannah is probably one of the funniest people at 4 a.m. You can just, you just really hear it. Just Avery has her moments. When you least expect it, we'll say something and you'll just laugh because of just in one of those moments of like, why?
What are your plans for the future? You going to do something like this for a living maybe, or do you know?
I want to do something high school related. If I don't do this, I want to become an English teacher. So.
That's 3 so far want to be teachers. Pretty good. We need that. We're glad to hear. We hear from the players a lot of times who want to be things that God, you can tell our society needs. We certainly need good teachers.
How did you decide to go to Cedar Park? What was in that decision?
Well, I wanted to follow in my brother's footsteps.
Right.
And I.
Because
Needed a ride to
school. She could.
There was a choice between Vandergrift and Cedar Park, and I wanted to try something new.
And be a winner. Just be a natural winner.
Yeah, just be a natural winner.
Natural winner.
I totally get it. Totally get it.
You look better in green than gray, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
All right, thanks, Kabrina. We'll swap out 2 more now. How many more we got to go? 3 more? 2 more to go? Okay.
Do a short break and come back.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So 2 more trainers, so that would be 8, right? And 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 here tonight. That one right there. There you go. All right, what's your name and class?
My name is Scarlett Dennis, and I'm a sophomore.
Scarlett Dennis is a sophomore. So how'd you get hoodwinked into doing that? I mean, how did you get into doing this?
Well, a funny story. I also didn't make the dance team. And then, yeah, this is the next best option.
There's not much dancing here, yeah. You don't have to worry about that here. What skills do you think you've learned that it's something you can kind of use for a while?
Well, how to put a Band-Aid on.
There's a proper way.
There's a proper way. There's always a proper way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And getting up early.
And getting up early.
Yeah.
Waking up. That's probably the
That was really hard.
Oh, yeah. I remember as a teenager, I remember my senior year, I didn't need a lot of credits left to graduate, so I didn't schedule a first period class because I wanted to sleep to the crack of noon every day, and I know getting up at 4:30. Oh my gosh.
Lucky.
Yeah. I don't know if you still do that these days, but so what are you thinking of studying when you go on to school?
I want to be an ER doctor.
Whoa. A doctor.
Yes.
So so are your grades pretty good?
No.
Oh, there you go. There's the first place to start. Those medical schools take good grades to get into.
Love the honesty.
I love the honesty. A doctor needs to be honest.
That's right.
Let's see if her handwriting is terrible. That would be another qualification.
Actually, it's kind of okay.
Uh-oh. Grades aren't perfect and your handwriting's good. That's 2 strikes.
But I'm left-handed, so it makes up for it.
Oh, there you go. Well, write with your right hand, and it will look like a doctor's signature.
Perfect.
Well, that's true. What do your folks do for a living? Is there anything?
Nothing interesting.
Nothing interesting. Not medical or anything.
No.
What do they think about you doing this?
Well, they kind of forced me to do something instead of sitting in my room all day.
Well, that's good.
So now I make my mom drive me at 4 a.m. to the.
You wanted me to do this, Mom. Get up.
Exactly.
I need to do that to Dakota when she gets older.
There you go. All right. Of all these people and your trainer staff,
Oh God.
Who's the best liar?
Oh.
Okay. So, honestly,
please be honest.
Who's the best liar now? Be honest.
If you're honest, maybe it's you.
It's either me or Mason. She's not here. She's not here, but yeah, she's a good liar.
That's a good way to dump it off. Somebody who's,
yeah.
I'm not a good liar. Mason lies. All right. Well, thanks a lot, and let's hand the mic to our next and final trainer, and let's see get a name and a class there. I guess no freshmen, huh? Now, sometimes you have freshmen, right?
Oh yeah.
Just this year, none. There's going to be a hole in the roster here in a couple of years there. All right, name and class.
I'm Hannah Darty, and I'm a sophomore.
Doherty?
Darty, yes.
Like D-A-R-T-Y or?
D-A-U-G-H-E-R-T-Y.
Like Doherty. Okay, I got you.
That's a lot more letters on Words with Friends. That immediately went up.
A bunch of them are silent, yeah.
Definitely.
So, Hannah, what's your favorite moment of being a trainer with Bowman's crew here?
Ooh. Tough answer. Definitely kind of the family you create here, because you have to be around each other at 4 a.m., so you might as well kind of like each other.
Everybody's got bad breath at 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Probably myself as well. I can't really blame anyone, but I do always have gum, so.
What's your least favorite moment in this time you spent?
I really love my job.
But was there a bad moment? You know, some guy's got a bone sticking through his shin or something. I don't know. Was there a bad moment somewhere?
The good outweighs the bad mainly, but probably one of the bad moments is just players getting angry and just yelling in general, and you happen to be in the general direction, and they end up accidentally yelling at you, or you accidentally get in the way of a player.
Oh, yeah, I get that. You're just near an angry cloud, even if it's not at you, being in an angry cloud is not much fun.
That's just one of the worst ones, because it's such a general thing, especially when you're handing out water or trying to tell someone, hey, you're bleeding, and they're just very angry.
You got a hemorrhage going there. Isn't that supposed to be inside your elbow, that bone sticking out?
Yeah, and they'll just walk away at some point, so you got to follow them.
What are you thinking of doing in the future?
I probably want to go and study sports med and probably come back here to try and be a trainer.
There you go, David. By the time he's retired.
Right. Right. No, you're going to stay forever. Nope,
you're
not
the
allowed.
Next Bowman. You're the next Bowman, maybe.
I'm coming for your job, Bowman, in the most respectful way possible.
All right. So in this crew, who is the best actor, you think? You can say you if you think that's the right answer.
Probably myself. You kind of, in the mornings, you kind of have to put on a very excited and happy face.
Yes.
Even when you're not, right. So, yeah, that's
I don't
acting.
drink coffee, but the thing is I wake up at around like 2:50 because I like to do my makeup and get ready and get actually awake before I get to practice. So.
I brought the same
12.
energy. I didn't wake up at 2:50 though. Golly.
When you're
It gets addicting to wake up that early, so the energy starts coming very early.
Oh my gosh.
I get that. So of the various jobs you've been assigned to do, the various tasks and chores you got to do, which one would you gladly give to someone else?
I have two.
Two?
Washing whirlpools.
Ooh.
Oh,
I partially like it, but only when I want to do it. But then it gets handed off to me because I'm a newbie. And then I'm like, okay, let's see if there's anybody else that will take it. And taking out this massive 60-gallon water wagon to the other side of the field.
How do you transport it? I know you don't carry it.
It's on wheels. So
Okay.
you pull
Like
it.
tug it.
You pull it, but the wheels are very flat. So you might as well carry it. It'll be easier.
Man. All right. I think that's 8. We've got through all the trainers. Thanks, all of you. We're going to take a short break here, and we come back, a couple other things, then we're going to play a trivia game, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take another short break. When we return, more nonstop honking of the Cedar Park football horn right here from Santa Catarina on Timberwolf Night in America, the Vype Live Network.
At Wafed Bank, formerly Washington Federal, working together isn't new for us. We've been awarded America's Best Big Bank by Newsweek. From digital options, touchless transactions, and increased nonprofit contributions to help our neighbors, we're here for you. Our bankers approved more than 9,000 PPP loans to keep small businesses going during the pandemic. Wafed Bank is a local bank and portfolio lender with more than 200 branches in 8 states to serve you. 24/7 online and mobile banking with mobile check deposits, over 32,000 ATMs, free checking. Wafed Bank, your local bank for personal and business banking at wafedbank.com or 800-324-9375.
Woo! All right, we're running a little bit behind here. Did a lot of talking to a lot of folks here. It was a lot of fun, but we're going to run a little long tonight, so don't worry. Don't go anywhere, though. We got a couple things left to do. First, before we get into the trivia game, a couple of things. Upcoming Cedar Park basketball schedules. The 2 basketball teams are ramping up for their seasons. Blake Brown's men's team has a lot of people back. They're looking to rebound from a disappointing year after having won the previous 2 straight district titles. Their season opener is Saturday the 13th at Pflugerville, not a district game. Remember, football's in a district with a vastly different makeup than every other sport at the school. All the other sports are in District 25 5A, along with Eastview, Georgetown, Glen, Leander, Liberty Hill, Marble Falls, and Rouse. Football's the different one. First home game for the men is Friday night, the 19th, coming up here pretty quick in 10 days, 7 o'clock against Round Rock. Now, we hope to still be playing football at that point, but if not, I might be on the arena mic at the Timberdome, unless I have another gig a little farther north of here. The defending state champion women's team lost only 2 starters, and those are the only 2 seniors who even logged much playing time. They are primed for another historic run and will likely go into the season ranked number 1. They haven't lost a district game in 4 years. Head coach Donnie Ott has this team playing at a very high level. You owe it to yourself to come out and watch the greatest show on wood. The women's season opener is this next Monday, the 8th, at Waco High. That's yesterday, I guess, actually. Remember, Mike Rose, V of the LT, will have play-by-play of the women's games right here on Vype. We are still having, if we're still having TNIA after next week, Coach Ott and several of his players will join us here as guests 1 week from tonight. All right, one more trivia question for you, Josh. Oh, before we get that, any of you trainers going to be doing basketball? Raise your hand. Men's or women's? Women. Men? Okay, I'll see you all. Cool. I'll see you all at the Timberdome. Then I'm announcing all of their games for both teams. All right, Josh, one more trivia question. We noted earlier the program suffered 3 district losses this year for the first time in 14 seasons, posting a record of 4-3. Going back through time, how many district wins did we rack up while logging our previous 3 district losses? 4-3 this year. What in 3 over what length of time to include 3 losses?
God, that was a lot. The verbiage, man, that's slowing me down. Okay.
Well, we're 4-3 this year.
Right, I'm with you.
It's been many years back to pile up 3 losses. How many district wins did we have while we're piling up those 3 losses?
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't say it the best way.
I'm saying we've accumulated 37.
Okay, the answer is, if our 3 previous losses, you go all the way back to Game 8 of the 2009 season, collecting the wins that ran alongside these previous 3 losses, 51 of them.
Oh, my.
We were 4-3 this year. From the end of 2009 through last year, we were 51-3.
Oh, my gosh.
Hurts even more, doesn't it?
Yeah, that stings.
All right, trivia time. We're going to play a game called Josh Willard, Right or Wrong. We're going to split up. Well, actually, we're just going to split up into 2 teams. Josh Willard and all the rest of you against Josh. You got an easier job than he's got. I'm going to ask 10 true or false questions. Mostly sports subjects, some Dallas Cowboys, some Cedar Park Timberwolves, and he's going to say true or false. You're going to decide whether you think he's right or wrong with that answer. If he's right, he gets a point. If he's wrong, he doesn't get a point. If you are right saying that he was right or right saying he was wrong, you get a point. And if you're wrong saying that he's right or wrong saying he's wrong, you don't get a point. So in each question, you could both score a point, or he could score and you couldn't, or you could score and he couldn't, or neither one of you could score. All right?
Love it.
So here we go. And one of you guys, call yourself the team captain and grab this mic, and it could be you, and sit in this seat right here. Say it, you're going to do it? All right. You'll be the team captain and spokesman. You can certainly consult. You want to consult with your teammates to make sure you got a consensus answer. All right, here's the first question. Over the last 10 years, Cedar Park has won more district games and more district championships than Westlake. Is that true or false, Josh?
So it's on me. And I'm going to say we have. That's a true statement.
All right, is he right or wrong? Girls?
I think he's right.
He's right. You both score. Ding, 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 ding. 4 more district wins than we got than Westlake. 3 more district championships. In fact, we had also won more state championships than Westlake until just the year before last, but not anymore.
You can drain either lake. I'd be fine with it.
Okay, so a point each in the first inning. Going to the second inning, second question. Cedar Park went into this season with all of its players at the receiver's position, having between them 0 varsity catches in their careers. Josh, is that true or false? That none of our receivers coming into the season had ever caught a varsity pass. Is that true or false?
Oh. So we've got Weapon X, and we've got Nick Gurion. Nick Grudon. Both of those guys were on the defensive side. That's a true statement. None of them.
Is Josh right that it's true that none of our receivers at the start of this year had ever caught a varsity pass? They say false. Josh gets the point. He's right. None of our receivers had caught a single varsity pass coming into the season. So Josh is now ahead 2-1.
That's right.
Okay, question number 3, inning number 3. In this time of troubles for Longhorn football, a little perspective here for us Longhorn fans. Is this true or false? All of these together. True or false? Even one element of it is false. It's false. Here we go.
Love it.
No current Aggie player has been alive to see A&M play for a conference football title or play in a BCS game. Further, no Aggie baseball player has been alive to see them play in Omaha at the College World Series. Further, no living person of any description has been alive to see the Aggie basketball team play in the Final Four. Is that true or false? All of those together.
I mean, that's true just because of the nature of your education.
Josh thinks all that's true. You guys think any element of it even slightly wrong, that's false, and he's wrong. What do you think?
I mean, is it UT class of what? 60?
83.
80.
60. What am I, 106?
Come on. No, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that.
Speaking in my good ear.
I didn't mean it like that. No.
All right. What do you think, Captain? You agree that it's a true statement?
Yes.
You're both correct. All those things
That's what I'm talking about.
are unfortunately true. So we are through 3 innings. It's 3-2, Josh. Question number 4.
Sorry, Aggies.
Since 2002, the Dallas Cowboys have a streak of 190 consecutive sellouts at home and on the road.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
Nothing good for Dallas. False.
Josh says false. Do y'all agree that he's correct that it's false? It's true. Nobody scored. I was shocked to find that out, too. I mean, they have a great following, I guess. Woo! All right, next question. Cowboys have only had 2 winning seasons since 2009. Is that true or false?
Oh, that is so true. So true.
Is he right? Only 2 winning seasons since 2009?
Yes, we're going to agree with that.
They agree, and you both fail to score again. It's false. But they've only had 3. So still nobody has scored in the last 2 innings. I'll update the scoreboard here. And we go to the 7th. All right, here we go. Since 1998 AD, the Cowboys are 4-8 in NFL playoff games. True or false?
Since when?
Since 1998, they're 4-8 in NFL playoff games. True or false, Josh?
False.
What do you guys think?
I mean,
is he right? Is it false?
True.
So you think he's wrong, right?
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, you think he's wrong. That's true. It's actually false. Josh has it. They're not 4-8 since 1998. They're 3-9. In the lifetime of any 23-year-old, the Cowboys have won 3 whole playoff games.
Wow. What a franchise.
And yet they got a great following. They sold out 190 straight games. So Josh gets the point on that one.
Taking a commanding lead. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
taking a commanding lead.
4-2. You got 2 innings left. All right. All right. Let's see. We just did that one. Where's the next one? There we are. The Cowboys are the NFL's most valuable team monetarily, and Cowboy swag sales greatly outstrip the second-place team, which is the Patriots. Is that true or false?
Oh, true.
True. Is he right?
Yes, we're going to have to agree with that.
You both score on that one. They are
talking
still,
about.
even with all the mediocrity we've just chronicled for Dallas, they are still far and away the most popular team in the nation.
It blows my mind.
Both get a point. It is 5-3. Last question. So with Josh not being outscored in that inning, that means he's going to take this one, but you all could narrow the gap to 1. There's only 1 inning left. All right, here we go. Here's the question.
Give me a good one.
The Carolina Panthers.
Oh, why would you do this?
Have had 6 head coaches, but only 2 of them have had winning records.
Fox, Rivera, Rule.
That's 3 of the 6 guys.
I'm going to say that's a true statement.
You're going to say it's true that the Carolina Panthers have had 6 head coaches, but only 2 of them have had winning records.
Not proud of it.
Is he right or wrong? That's his team, the Panthers.
We're going to agree.
Going to agree? It's true.
Why would you do that?
Only John Fox, 78 and 74, and Ron Rivera, 79 and 67.
Riverboat Ron.
All right, bonus question here. We see if we get another point. The Carolina Panthers franchise has an overall winning record since its inception. True or false?
True.
True? What do you guys think?
It's been around since 1995.
Is he right or
I was
wrong?
just a young chap.
He says they do have a winning record all time, the Carolina Panthers. What do you think?
Crap.
Is he right or
take
wrong?
it back.
We're gonna say false.
Yeah. I would do that. I would do that.
You guys get the point on that one. It's false.
Lame.
Strangely enough, as I look this up, at this moment, after Sunday's games, all-time Carolina is 212 wins, 212 losses. They're exactly 500.
Perfect. Consistent. That's what I love. You know exactly what you're going to get out of it. Love it.
All right. Josh wins by a point tonight on Josh Willard. Right or wrong.
Just like that.
But a good job by the girls.
That's all there is to it.
Scored a lot more points than people often do in that game. So.
Yeah.
All right, a short preview of Buda Johnson. No history between these two programs. They are currently 9-1, but that one was a large margin loss, 52-7 to the only good team they played. They do have a good quarterback in junior Jesse Medina. He's a good passer and runner and is, in fact, the whole offense. He completes 68% of his throws for a 16.3 average for 26 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's also the leading rusher with an average of 4.5 yards per carry and 11 more touchdowns. He accounts for 79% of the Jaguars' total offense. So once again, Josh, the Black Rain stops this one guy. Cedar Park wins.
And I like it whenever we come into a ball game where we have that identity from the other opposing team, and I feel like that's an opportunity for Cedar Park to get into the film room and just understand to execute and take out that one player that's the bad part is it's the quarterback. He's going to touch the ball every single play, so he's super effective. He's probably got great decision making, but if we can put players in position to make open field tackles, these outside linebackers for us are going to have to play great on coming down on the line of scrimmage, but also getting back out into coverage and putting pressure on him to make some of these throws. And then that Black Rain defensive line, we've got to find ways to get to the quarterback and get some sacks this game.
I was headed that way too. We need pass pressure and turnovers.
And it would create a lot of momentum and get us going. And then offensively, Pell is an accurate thrower of the football. If we can give him time to go through the progression, I think it'll just open up windows for big plays and then relieving that pressure with the rushing attack with the Doughboys up front. So, it doesn't matter how you got to the playoffs as long as you're in the playoffs, and we're here.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and
it's happened to us.
But growing up in the Cedar Park community, Cedar Park was the underdog all the time, and it was kind of good having that mentality, and it almost feels like we're right there right now with our winning tradition now behind us. So we just got to channel that winning tradition and really channel that Cedar Ridge team that came off the bus and bring that team. But then I think Cedar Park can control their own destiny and just not get ahead of themselves.
All right, once again, the Booster Club sponsors this year Toyota of Cedar Park, HEB, Rudy's Barbecue, Mungia Real Estate, Army Ant Moving, our touchdown sponsor, TJ Lewis Real Estate, Alzer's Barbecue, Wofford Bank, and Santa Catarina Mexican Restaurant. That's it for our 11th episode of Timberwolf Night in America for 21. T-Wolves face Buda Johnson at Hayes Stadium Friday night, 7 o'clock. Our pregame show starts at 6:45. I will have the play-by-play. Josh with color and analysis. Cecil with technical production and additional commentary. Our thanks to our guests tonight, David Bowman and the Trainers. Still sounds like a band. Next week, we'll have the defending state champion women's basketball team as our guests. For our QA, Rosie Bega. And for my own personal Chris Collinsworth, Josh Willard, this is Brad Cohn signing off. You've been listening to Timberwolf Night in America right here on the Vype Network.